In this video, I'm going to talk about 6 reasons that 2023 is the greatest year in history to start freelancing. Let's check it out. I started freelancing in 2002, and I've shared my story in a lot of places and content, podcasts and things, so I'm not going to go into the details of that here. But over 13 years, I built my agency, and then I sold my agency in 2015. Now, my journey started in 2002, and things were a lot tougher back then. Sound like an old man. We used to walk to the school 3 miles each way in the snow, barefoot. Whatever kind of old man talk that is. But the truth is, it was not as easy as it is today. You have so many advantages. We're going to talk about them in this video. Advantage number 1 is that we're in we'll call it a probable recession. Everybody's talking about recession. They have been for a year. It hasn't really hit yet, but inevitably, allegedly, a recession is coming. Now, what happens in a recession? Well, there's higher unemployment, there's less spending, there's cost cutting, price increases, etc., etc., etc. All the bad stuff that can happen in an economy. And what does it mean to you, and why is it good as a freelancer? Because businesses need to market better in order to win revenue. And businesses have a smaller internal team. If they're laying people off, their internal team is smaller, and it increases the need to outsource. I started my agency in 2002 during a recession, and this is the exact thing that happened for me. No internal team, people started outsourcing, I started getting freelance work. We're gonna do a little quiz in here. Did Mike have this thing when he was building his agency and recession conditions? Yeah, I had them. I had recession conditions when I started freelancing. Item number 2, remote work is common. COVID accelerated this so much. And now remote work is no big deal. In fact, some people don't even want to go back to an office because we're so accustomed after a couple years of lockdowns and COVID fears to doing Zoom calls for everything. And your clients don't care. They don't care where you are. Anywhere in the world, it's business acceptable to outsource and do remote work and do a lot of work through Zoom calls. No big deal. Did Mike have the remote work capabilities back in 2002? Not really. There were no Zoom calls. I had to fly to visit my clients in order to create those relationships and to present proposals and to pitch concepts. And now you can do it all through your computer screen. Okay, number 3, super fast technology. You got 5G everywhere, Wi-Fi hotspots. And I know you have fast data or you wouldn't be watching YouTube videos like this one. Now, when I started freelancing, so I started freelancing in LA. I'd been working at Fox, started freelancing and spent a few months there. And then I decided, man, I'm doing everything over the phone and email. I don't really need to live here. And a couple family circumstances and things made us decide that we were going to move to Salt Lake City where my wife's family is. And I had it all lined up to get a DSL connection, which was just a faster data over the phone line system. So we buy our house, we move all our stuff, and then I call to get the DSL line connected up. And they tell me, oh, it's actually not available here. Who told you it was available? And I had this cold sweat come over me because here I started freelancing and now I don't have high-speed internet. It wasn't even high speed. I mean, it was low speed compared to what we do now. But I had this panic moment and I ended up finding one of these businesses that stuck like this satellite dish on my roof and beamed the internet from another tower that was about 7 miles away. It was like a line of sight thing. It sucked. It didn't work well at all. And most of the time I would just dial up through AOL at 28.8 kilobits per second to be able to upload files and things to my clients. And 28.8 was like generous. It was really 14.4 most of the time. Connection sucked. But you don't have that problem. I had that problem. Technology was not super fast, but I still was able to grow my freelance business in that era. You don't have that problem today. Okay, number 4, the creative tools are awesome. When I started, it was Photoshop 6. And I actually think it was Photoshop 4, but I looked at the dates. I had Photoshop 4. Allegedly, Photoshop 6 was out at the time that I started freelancing, but I don't remember having that. I used Quark Express. It still was the predominant print oriented software. For stock videos, I had stacks of CDs. You'd have to get CDs for stock sounds. You'd have to get CDs for stock music. You'd have clip art CDs. It sucked. Getting assets sucked. And so much of it was manual, like putting a drop shadow on something in Photoshop. We'd have to create a new layer and then Gaussian blur a layer below it after you turned it dark. There were no undos in Photoshop. You couldn't Command Z to undo stuff. All of it pretty much sucked in comparison to what you have available today. Now we've got the Adobe Creative Cloud and every piece of software that you could ever want to be able to do creative work. You've got things like Canva where you have a whole bunch of pre-designed stuff. And a lot of it looks pretty dang good and will satisfy the needs of your clients. You have tools like Envato Elements where you can pay an annual fee and download as many assets as you need. I get so much stuff, sound effects, music, and things from Envato Elements, animated, whatever. Did Mike have great creative tools back in 2002? Not so much. Number 5, education access. In 2023, you have access to education. You're not out there grinding it alone, trying to figure out how to run your creative business. I share a ton of free content on my YouTube channel and my Instagram. I have online courses. Tons of other people do the same. You have access to mentors and thought leaders that you never had back in 2002. This stuff didn't exist. I had books. And the books weren't even for designers. They would be business books. I would read a business book and I would try and extract what the ideas were in that general business book and apply them to my creative business. You don't have to do that anymore. You've got all kinds of places of people who are telling you this is how it applies to your creative business. That's what my whole channel is dedicated to. So did Mike have easy access to education? Nope. Number 6, it's easy to find clients. Now, it's never really easy to find clients, but it is easier than it was back in my day. You know, the old man, finding clients was harder in my day. In comparison, today it's easy to find clients. You've got online communities specific to your target. You want pizza restaurants? Go find an online community. I did a little search on LinkedIn, and there's a group with 5,000 members that is the pizza marketing group. And there's the pizza industry community, 6,000 members. If you want to target pizza restaurants, you got 2 groups with 11,000 members that you can go and start getting involved in that community. I didn't have anything like this back in the 2002 days. You got online marketplaces like Fiverr, where if you really don't have any clients, you can go and pitch jobs on Fiverr and Upwork and freelancer.com and Dribbble. Dribbble even has the ability to connect clients with designers. All these tools didn't exist back in the old days, and it makes it so much easier for you to find clients today than what we had back in 2002. So, did Mike have the easy ability to find clients? Not so much. Not so much. So my score on this little quiz, 1 out of 6. 1 out of 6 on these awesome things that make it easier for you to start freelancing. And guess what? In spite of having 1 out of the 6, I was still able to grow a creative business. Now let's look at your score. Do you have recession conditions? Yep. Remote work is common? Yep. Technology super fast? Yep. Creative tools are awesome? Yep. Easy access to education? Yep. Easy to find clients or easier to find clients? Yep. Your score is a 6 out of 6 on these things. And that's why 2023 is the greatest year in the history of the world to start freelancing. And I hope that this video inspires and motivates you to take that first step on the journey. If you've been waiting, there's no more perfect time than now. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, click the like, thumbs up, comment, all the stuff. Click all the stuff, except the thumbs down button, don't click that. And then rewatch it a few times so that we can get more traction on this content. All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you again in the next video.